Hello, everyone, and I hope that your Thanksgiving holiday went well. I had a really good time hanging out with my friends and family this weekend. My big brother celebrated his 50th birthday, and so we had a chance to really celebrate that milestone. We didn't rib him too hard, but we really did have an awesome time this weekend, and so I hope again that you were able to spend some quality time with those who are important in your life. And so I also wanted to let you know that as we begin to take a look at this week's activity, you'll notice that we have a lot going on, and so I'm going to try to walk you through that to give you some insight and to answer some questions that may come up as a part of this week's engagement. And so first off, you had an icebreaker, and so I know you had a chance to complete that, and I know that I forced you to choose categories of true or false, and as I was going through the icebreaker myself, I thought sometimes, well, maybe is the better answer, or under these conditions, this is how I would feel about that, or here's what I would believe to be the case. But I really wanted you to think about what are the outcomes that you believe to be true under most circumstances. And so it's okay if your views evolve or change. That's perfectly fine. That's a part of our learning. Also, as we turn our attention as well to the change management simulation, it's not going to be online, but what you're going to have is a field-based activity. And so what do I mean by that? What you're going to do is you're actually going to go out and you're going to interview someone that's in another organization. And you want to talk to them about how they're handling change, how they're dealing with it. And I think that is really important, this having conversations with individuals. We talked about that in our discussion forum this week. And I'm going to share a couple of stories with you around my own experiences around the importance of having conversations and moving out of areas or places of familiarity. And so the first story that I'll tell you about is it took place when I traveled to Dubai back in 2012. I was going to visit my son in South Africa, and so I had an extended layover in Dubai, and so I had a chance to go into the city there, and I went to one of the big malls there, and so I had a chance, while I was there, I went into the ladies' room, and like some Americans after 9/11, I had adopted some views around Muslims, those who were followers of Islam, and really hadn't tested those assumptions and those conclusions that I had drawn. And so as I was there in the restroom, there were the women there, and as we see Muslim women, many times they are fully covered, including their faces, but in the restroom the women were uncovered, and they were laughing and they were talking and having conversations just like I would have with my girlfriends. And for me, it was the first time that I saw their humanity. And boy, did it really begin to reshape some of the assumptions that I had and some of the conclusions that I'd drawn. And I began to challenge myself because just like I don't want to be categorized or stereotyped, I know that is true for others as well. And so my second experience was when I was in Morocco in 2013. And so I was leaving the airport and I was catching a train to go into Casablanca. And so on the train, I mean, it was really, really hot. There was no air conditioning to speak of, and so I noticed a young woman get on the train with her husband and son, and as she sat down, she sat in front of me, and she had on her veil, and she was covered, and I noticed that she was shaking her veil. She was basically fanning, and so I offered her some tissue, and she said, "Thank you." And then she said to me, we had struck up a little bit of a conversation, and she said, "Are you Filipino?" And I said, "No." I said, "I'm American." And she says, "Wow, you're the first American that I have ever met." And boy, it caused me to think just a little bit more deeply around how we think about others, and how the importance of having conversations with people so that we can have a first-person perspective. And so as you go out and you're talking to others who are outside of your organization, you'll get a first-person perspective that may contrast, or it might be similar to your own experiences that you're having inside of your organization. And I know here in Texas, taxes as we've gone through our restructuring. I had some conversations with folks outside of Northwood, and actually talked to some conversations with alumni, and one of our DeVos alumni said to me, she said, "Hey, Tara, we have restructurings every few years at Coca-Cola, and I know that even on the discussion board, some of you have been through mergers and acquisitions or other forms of restructuring, and so having those conversations really broadens our perspectives, and in some instances can actually reshape how we are thinking about our situation." And so I'm really looking forward to the outcome of that interview that you're going to have. You have the entire week to schedule your interview. I give some more guidance on that. There's a handout that's posted in Blackboard, so take a look at that as well. So if we take a look at this week's readings, you'll notice that Burke is continuing to build upon conversations that we had and discussions that we had in Chapter 6 as we continue to look at additional models of organizational change. And there's really a lit review that's happening here in Chapter 7. And so as a part of our conversation this week, you're going to be watching a video segment from one of my favorite shows, 60 Minutes. And so the video segment that I want you to watch, that you're required to watch, is around cyber threats. I know some of you might have done a little Black Friday shopping. I was a part of that group just a little bit on Friday as well. And so looking at what is referred to as the year of the cyber threat in this 60 Minutes episode. And so I want you to take a look at that, and then we're going to frame that within the context of our own organizations and threats or blind spots that we might also be dealing with. There's also a second 60 Minutes video there. I talked earlier about getting outside of our familiarity, our comfort zones, because it can allow us to better understand what's going on, or perhaps to even raise our consciousness around issues that are going on that we're not even aware of. And so I've shared a link there about the World Food Program and what's going on there in Syria as that war continues. So the second part of our conversation today, or this week, is going to deal with Carter. And so another one of my favorite shows is The Undercover Boss. And so some of you have already talked about that on the discussion boards. And so I posted an episode of The Undercover Boss with Subway that I want you to watch. That will also be a part of our discussion board engagement this week. So I look forward to a really fruitful discussion. Just another reminder that your second application paper is due by Sunday at midnight. As I noted last week, I will have your first application papers graded by tomorrow. So take care. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.